This is the S Word with Noble coming.
Well, hello. Hello there, and welcome to episode 3 of the S Word. I'm Noble Cumming.
And I'm Mick O'Connor.
And we're just here in the studio, and it's been a long weekend and an even longer Monday. How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah?
What were you up to this weekend?
Oh, I was, we did a little birthday party for my my darling wife, Nancy, who's out tonight. We had a very fun time. A nice little place, surrounded by liberals and conservatives alike, if you didn't notice from some of the vibe in there.
Isn't that the kind of natural order of things?
It is. It is. Unfortunately, we forget that so often. And before I forget, I just give a shout-out. My stepmother's birthday is also tonight.
So I knew that.
You knew that?
No, I didn't. I'm lying.
Okay. Anyways, laughing at our own jokes. Okay.
That's what keeps us going.
It is what keeps us going. So this last week we had an interesting thing. You had a bunch of home repair work to work on, right? You were trying to make your house more sustainable.
Yeah, I guess we could say downsizing.
Okay, that's good.
And removing what can I describe as the detritus of life.
Got it.
Not life itself, but the kind of stuff that you accumulate.
Well, so it was sort of up to me to do the person on the street this week. And we had a question for people. We wanted to know how they felt about the presidential candidates this year and their environmental policies.
That was very professional, though, the way that you just segued into that. You kind of sashayed into it.
Well, that's a move.
I do like a good sashay.
I am sashaying right now. I'm a professional sashay.
All right, Q man on the street.
Here we go.
People out on the street.
Do you have a candidate that you want to vote for?
I'm still undecided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to vote for Biden. I'm a Democrat.
All right. Do you have any feelings on any of the other candidates?
No.
All right.
No.
All right. Thank you.
I'll vote for Biden.
Yes, sir. Who do you think has the best environmental policy of all the presidential candidates?
I think for all my criticism of Biden, his environmental policy isn't so bad, even though he went back on his big oil statement. Cornel West seems all right. The rest of them I don't know too much about yet.
All right.
So,
Great. Who do you think you'll vote for?
I don't know. Maybe Cornel West at the moment.
So which political candidate are you going to vote for, and who do you think has the best environmental record?
Well, I'm going to vote. You're talking about president?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to vote Biden, obviously. Between the two?
Well, there's more than them, but,
Environmental record.
Or the best environmental policy.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, anything Democrat is going to be better than coal.
Do you feel anything about, like, Cornel West or Kennedy or Jill Stein, any of them?
Yeah, they need to stop, both of them.
Okay.
There's too much at stake for this bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't use that.
Oh, actually, I can.
Okay.
It's wonderful.
All right.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Any feelings on anybody, what they've done so far, or anybody who you want to see, what you'd like to see happen in the next election?
I'd like to just see the whole country get more normal again.
Yeah.
Basically.
All right, cool.
Starting with the voters.
Which presidential candidate do you think has the best environmental policy?
Depends on, are you asking as far as, like, main candidates, as far as, like...
Any one you want.
What I have to do research as far as, like, looking... If you're talking one or two candidates, Republican, Democrat, then I would say Democrat.
Okay. Do you have any feelings about any independents, like
I'd have
Kennedy?
to do research.
Yeah,
I'd have to do research.
All right. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of the people don't want to talk about politics at all. It seems like they're just fed up with all the shenanigans. And And there's a lot of people, even people who I would assume would be caring and knowledgeable, who have opinions, admittedly don't know enough this time to know who's saying what about how. I've also kind of come to the realization that before, 10 in the morning on Saturdays, a lot of people are still kind of staggering around trying to get their coffee. So maybe interviewing people a little later in the day is helpful. What presidential candidate do you think has the best environmental record?
Oh, God. I don't think any of them.
Yeah.
Honestly. I think they're all pretty weak as far as that goes. But I want to assume a Democratic candidate, more than likely.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's the classic, once they get in office, all of that just kind of goes by the wayside.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're ultimately pandering to corporations, obvious at the end of it. And they're controlled by Congress. So, there's a classic flip. Somebody gets in office, it's Democratic. Republican Congress takes over, stops everything they're doing. It's just kind of the cog that continues turning and no progress is made.
What do you think? Do you think there's an answer to that at all?
I think I don't really know. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
I think that reshaping things so that maybe there's a third-party solution, but historically, they've never received the vote. That would actually make that possible. I don't know what the answer to that is, unfortunately.
Which presidential candidate do you feel has the best record of sustainability, and who has the best policy moving forward?
Joe Biden.
Okay. Any feelings one way or the other about what they do or they've done?
I think Joe Biden gives us the best chance to sustain the earth and crawl back on climate change.
Okay. Is there anybody else, any other candidates that you're looking at that you think are interesting, like independents? No?
No.
Nobody?
Robert Kennedy is a joke. Cornell, I forgot his last name. West. He just ended to get a cabinet position. Joe Biden. Donald Trump is a one-man wrecking ball. All he wants to do is dig up the earth and make money for itself. So,
right.
I think Joe Biden is the best choice we have.
What are your views on the presidential race and the policies on sustainability?
We need to be more sustainable for sure. I think the president should put that in the forefront of one of the leading things he needs to change.
How do you feel about the presidential candidates and their stance on sustainability?
I don't really feel too great about any of the presidential candidates. I definitely don't think we have presidential candidates that are thinking of sustainability in like a holistic way or a way that is actually sustainable. Beneficial. I don't think it's like, I think it's like buzzwords, but it's definitely not like a priority.
Nothing you think they're really being serious about?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's just we're really in the throes of a capitalist society, and I really think that's all there is to it. And sustainability and capitalism don't really go hand in hand.
I think, Biden, maybe I'm biased because I'm already a Democrat, so I think Biden has a better plan.
Okay, so,
these wind, it's wind solar energy, policy is solid.
Yeah.
And I don't think Trump has one.
Yeah.
I think Trump is all about, big oil and so forth. So he hasn't shown any interest in the environment at all.
Okay, what do I think about the presidential candidates? I mean, Trump is a joke. I mean, I don't think he even knows what the environment is or doesn't believe in climate change or anything like that. So he's a fucking joke. And Biden is 100 years old. So I don't even think he'll be alive to give a shit about the environment. I don't think either of them have any fucking policies.
What do you think about some of the other candidates like Nikki Haley or Kennedy?
They're all a joke. They're not serious politicians. All they care is about getting the fucking vote. They don't really care about the country. I mean, all candidates always preach the same thing. We're for the people. We want to do things for the people. at the end of the day, it all comes down to whoever's running the fucking House and Senate. And they usually just don't care about the environment, about climate change, about anything. They're just caring about, I don't know, war, guns. I mean, it's sad that they just don't care.
I didn't get a lot of people who really knew a whole lot. They hadn't really checked in yet. It's kind of like they were keeping one eye on the game, even though they weren't, necessarily in it yet. And so I did a quick little note. I grabbed from the New York Times of different candidates and kind of what their environmental policies or their main gist of their environmental policy is. Trump, will remember, he pulled out of the climate accord, and he downplays the dangers of climate change and also considers mitigation efforts radical.
First time he's ever pulled out.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Nikki Haley believes climate change is real, and she favors carbon capture. Huh?
Hooray!
Hooray for her. But she wants China and India to lower their emissions first because she can't think any at all in the past, and she just believes that what they're doing now has nothing to do with them catching up with us.
Right. Blame someone else.
Yeah. And then we have Joe Biden, who reversed Trump policies once sworn in and revoked the Keystone Pipeline and has done a lot to get us back on track. However, he did approve the Willow project up in Alaska. There's some issues right there. So he's a little hemming and hawing, and people are a little concerned right now that he might backslide on a lot of stuff.
We've got to give him a little bit of credit, I guess, insofar as he's actually in government. So
yes, that's true too, and doing something.
I mean, the rest of it is all rhetoric, right?
And then we have Kennedy, who I understand we have a little bit of a fan base here in the House for. And Kennedy is actually an environmental lawyer. His entire career has been based on doing environmental work. And basically not his main focus, but one of his main focuses. And he said this great quote. He said, "In almost 100% of all situations, environmental policy is identical to good economic policy." So there you go. Those are the candidates.
Well, I mean, it all sounds good, doesn't it?
It all sounds good.
I guess the proof will be in the eating.
When the rubber hits the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. What are we going to do now? Are we going to play a little song, maybe?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's going to break it up. What are we going to play?
What do you got?
That was a trick question.
Oh, yes. Well.
So I think we're going to play, a little bit of Portishead.
Ooh, Portishead, wow.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
And we can't play that because we didn't organise our Spotify properly, did we?
Okay, all two viewers are not.
Yeah.
Two listeners. I said viewers on radio.
There's a few gremlins in here tonight. I knew something was wrong when I couldn't get past the front gate for about 15 minutes. Got to thank, was it Rodrigo? Or who let me in?
Oh, the
nice guy.
Oh, I don't know.
So while we try to figure out how to get into
the news,
Spotify. No, we can't do the news, can we? Because we're in a kind of in a linear playback situation here due to our thing, our iTunes thing. So I'm going to see if we're queued up properly.
Okay.
To do Mick's rant of the week.
I'll just fill dead air.
All right. So let's see if we've got this right. Ready?
Okay, ready.
Because I don't know where we queued up then for that last thing, and now we're supposed to do Spotify and whatever. Let's see.
It's time for a quick rant.
I think you're having way too much fun.
Well, yeah. So now I'm in a good mood for a rant.
There you go. Rant away.
So my rant this week is kind of linked to sustainability, I think, in a sense. And that is, it's about printers, which, as you know, as we've discussed last weekend down at the pub, printers have a kind of place in my brain that they occupy.
You're talking about office printers because I'm a trained printer. I used to be a printer professionally.
No, not typesetters or anything like that. They're the sort of the earth. But printers, the physical electronic piece of equipment that lurks in office corners.
There might be one in here.
Yeah, there probably is. That you try to print out of, How come is it every time I try to print something out, right? It either prints on the wrong paper, there's no ink, there's no paper, the protocol doesn't work. It goes beep, 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 pop, 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 pop. Right? How come we can put someone on the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Or design electronic cars and stuff like that. If we just can't get printers to work.
If I was building a piece of heavily like engineered machinery, and I was putting the 4 most intelligent humans and trained athletes on the planet in it, I expect it wouldn't break down the way a printer would, because any dolt gets to run a computer or a printer, an office printer.
Well, I did some half-assed research into it. You know?
Oh, you did? Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I actually managed to put it into chat CPT. Is it CPT or CPT?
GPT.
My dyslexia is getting worse.
This is just terrible. This is like a train wreck.
So I actually put it in there, right?
Okay.
And there is a protocol, right?
Okay.
That was designed basically by, I think it was Hewlett-Packard.
Okay.
Okay. And a few others. Okay. And what it does is that it, you know, forms a protocol that's supposed to talk to any computer.
Right.
You know, but that doesn't happen in reality.
The HP
so my
printer
question for you, you're the professor.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just like a layman that just wanders around and gets annoyed at like inanimate objects, right? Why is that?
Why doesn't it work?
Yeah. Come on.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you may have me. There isn't an answer for that. This completely. I mean, first off, okay.
Oh my God!
I worked.
The first time I've ever known you to be.
This is
completely,
genius.
You know,
honey, if you're listening, I hope you turn it off right now and go to the concert, or I hope you're laughing. Anyways, no. So, it depends on what kind of printer you're talking about. I guess in your case, you're talking about a laser printer or like a color copier that's been used. So they use a lot of static electricity to run these systems. And these systems, the static electricity, if you have any change in heat, humidity in the room, it will mess that up. The protocols also are like anything else. There are lots of different traffic running at the same time, lots of electrons running, and they can cancel each other out, like coding all the time. You ever been to a website you thought worked? I mean, today I tried to do a TED Talk.
Listen, don't you start. This is supposed to be my rant, all right? For God's sake. Look, I put it into chat CPT, right? And this is what it said, right?
Okay.
Part of the reason is complexity. Printers involve a combination of hardware, software, and network components.
That's what I was saying.
Right? Reliability issues. Printers sometimes seem to have a mind of their own.
That is definitely not scientific.
That's definitely true.
That's definitely...
It's not going to be the zombies that get us, it's the printers. Inconsistent performance, well, you can put an asterisk next to that one.
What's the...
Costly consumables, printer ink, and toner cards.
I thought you were talking about the problems of printers, not the
This is what chat CPT gave me, right? Time consuming, yeah, they are fucking time consuming, right? So then, okay, because I'm reading that off my phone, right? Because you know why? I went to try and print it out, right?
Yeah.
And guess what happened?
What happened?
Well, I'm going to play it. Ready?
All right, go.
Here we go. It's printing. Only one page. What's it doing? What? What? Oh, God. Oh, sake. Jesus Christ. What are you doing? Just print the fucking page. All right, let's take a look at it. Wrong paper. Let's try it again. Oh, for the love of Christ. Oh, here we go. What the fuck? It's just one page of a... Jesus Christ. Can you... Oh. 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 Oh, I bipped you too. There it comes. Let's have a look at that then. No ink. Oh, changing ink. Yeah.
put in the print. Put in the cartridge. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, please let this end. Okay. Right, let's try and print that again. Sit down. Hit click. And print. What fucking noise is that? It's a completely different noise. Stop. What the fuck is going on? All I want to do is print out one page. Let me try again. Make a different sound. Oh. Jesus Christ. Oh, please let this end. Takes longer to fucking print out a piece of paper than to do the fucking show. Oh, okay, why's that stopped? Have a look. Oh, printer's jammed. Oh, let's have another go. Let me click on it again. And print. Oh. Oh, Christ. Oh. Oh. I give up. See?
Wow.
It's just one page. So you see why the planet is just,
Yeah, that's why the planet is in disarray like this. What printer god did you piss off?
That's every time I go to print it, it's like that. I could be anywhere. I could be in the office.
That's what I'm saying. I think you need to like burn an effigy.
Yeah.
You know.
But in all seriousness, like, you have experienced that, right? You go and you do a printer anywhere. You've had a few jobs in your life, right? You go and print something.
One or two, yeah.
Either someone's put the wrong paper in the wrong tray.
Yes.
Right? Or it won't print out, or you've got some kind of like protocol issue, or and the amount, like the place that I work, right? The amount of recyclable paper that just, I guess it does get recycled, but I mean it's got print on it and all that stuff, right? Is crazy, no?
I think it's interesting. I mean, on a serious note, first off, for the four of you who are listening, that was great radio. That was excellent. That was very entertaining. I think even our...
That was actually me trying to fill up time because we didn't get an interview this week.
Well, I think even our station head here was cracking up on the other side of the window for a minute. It was very enjoyable.
Yeah, it's despair probably.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how am I going to tell this one to the regime? But we were actually talking with some of my students today about the Javon's principle, and that when you introduce new technology that's intended to save the environment, so the idea of getting away from a paper office, people go, okay, we're going to go digital, and then what happens is now people are using digital so much, even as it gets more and more efficient, we're using it more and more, and so our environmental footprint is still increasing. Even though we're trying to mitigate all these things like paper use. And, be that as it may, the office printer, I think, was built by the Soviets to try to win back the Cold War. So
I'd just say get rid of them all and you save a load of trees.
Well, I mean... That's also a piece of conjecture because there are some who will tell you that there are more trees than there ever has been because of the paper industry, which is a problem. Makes ever too dense forests prone to fires.
Get rid of them anyway.
Okay. What, the trees or the printers?
The printers. Oh, no, I love the trees. Keep the trees.
Get rid of the printers. Yeah, they smell good, right?
Is it time for sustainability in the news?
Yes, it is.
Let me play the ident.
Sustainability in the news.
Well, I got two really great articles this week, and I made sure to take some tips from weeks past, and I boiled them down to some really good points that I can make without losing my train of thought. One is that Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio is behind a drive that's been pushing hard against activist groups on Wall Street that have, in the last 5 years, been very successful at getting Wall Street and different businesses around the world to start adapting climate-friendly processes and business processes. And they're now a lot of the businesses, including Wall Street, are flip-flopping. They're now like reneging on a lot of their climate and sustainability goal promises. This is really unfortunate. Some of the groups, including the Climate Action 100 group, which is sort of the main group that leads this charge in the financial sector, is really dismayed by these moves by different financial and business institutions, but they're not losing hope or faith in what they do. It's important to note that companies like in the insurance sector, when they fail to insure most of the housing stock in Florida, it's a good sign that probably you shouldn't be getting a house in Florida. Yet people continue to. Yeah. It's also places like California. They're refusing to give fire insurance in many places in California. I think most places in California no longer give fire insurance. And, and I think actually in Florida, to a point, I think most home insurance companies, like bar none, are gone. It's just too dangerous.
Really?
And so I think that's it. Just proves an interesting point. There are just some places, some things you can't do, and when the insurance, or you can't build in, and you can't go to, and when the insurance company gets behind this idea of, hey, we will not insure you, they always used to say to us, follow the money. So, yeah, well, the insurance company won't invest, so follow the money. So yeah, interesting little things, and fuck you, Jim Jordan. But, he's doing his best to dismantle democracy, as it were, anyways. And then we have, on a wonderful note, Minesto, a company out of Sweden, has just launched the Dragon 12, which should not be confused with any of the... and it's not an Elon Musk rocket or anything like that. It is actually a tidal power plant, and they have put it in operation off the Faroe Islands. It is actually putting energy into the Faroe Islands grid, and they're just basically scaling up bit by bit by bit. And right now the thing is, I believe, 12 meters across, maybe 12 feet. I think it's 12 meters, and it actually harvests energy from the waves, from wave power. And
sorry, where was this again?
The Faroe Islands.
Really?
Am I saying? Oh,
yeah.
Thought I was saying it wrong.
No, I just missed that bit.
Yeah,
I'm trying to log into Spotify.
Got it. Oh, you did? Good.
Yeah.
So tidal-based energy is really in its infancy. And when we kind of think of it, we think of like a big tube, like almost like a turbine kind of thing. And what they found is much more efficient is what's called like a tidal kite. So it looks like a kite that's flying around underwater in a figure eight. And
does that have to be down at a certain depth?
No, not as deep as one would think. And they can make ones for different depths. And actually, the good news is if you put it down, then boat land won't hit it, and people can go and still have fun and not worry about it.
And how is it anchored?
They anchor it to the seafloor.
Really?
And they actually, I think they have a version. The smaller versions can actually free float. But what's most fascinating to me is 1 liter of air has to blow almost 27 times harder than a liter of water to produce the same amount of energy.
That's fascinating.
So it's essentially, it has every form of energy, even the quote unquote green energies, have emissions. They have small amounts of emissions per kilowatt hour, and this version so far scaling up, it has less than 50% of the amount of emissions that nuclear or wind have.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the lowest ever. It's so tiny. They think this is going to be it. This is going to be a massive breakthrough in energy production.
And these like kites that are under the water.
Mm-hmm.
How big are those kites?
I think they're scaling them up. I think the current one, the reason it's called the 12, I think it's 12 meters across wingspan.
Okay.
So they're pretty big.
And then how many do you need to, I don't know, like equal what a wind farm does? Let's say. I don't know.
I think right now one.
One.
Yeah.
Just one.
Well, it depends on how big the wind farm is, but yes, this is producing a phenomenal amount of energy. They're blown away.
Wow.
Yeah, this is really new stuff, but they're scaling. They're having good. They want to get up to 200 megawatts. Right now, they're
and I guess like for shipping and stuff like that, you have some kind of either radar or some kind of.
Well, you bring it down low enough, and then you don't have to worry about shipping. And you probably have, the same way they say, there's still minefields.
So everything's
out in the
underground.
water.
So they're pulling the electric and everything under the water. Yeah, under the ground,
under
under
the
the water. Yeah.
So I mean, right now it's producing 1.2 kilowatts of electricity. This 12-meter piece, and they're trying to scale up to 200.
So about the power level of an average printer.
Yes, exactly. At this point, we'll be able to keep the printers alive.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy.
No, that's truly interesting, though, right? Because that obviously then is, with the globe is 2/3 water.
Yeah,
that would be an answer to
it. It is and
something.
They say that wind we're getting better and better. A friend of mine's from when I lived overseas, her husband is working on wind turbines, and they're creating wind turbines now that are blowing away records before they know. That are blowing away records before they even get to a point where they can put them in the water. They're doing this on land, and water's much better. The wind over the water, but now doing actual water turbines or water kite system, as they call it. It's a real breakthrough.
Where are we? Are we at the weather?
I think we're at the weather.
Okay. So I'm going to do something different today, I think, for the weather.
It's time for the weather.
I feel like doing... remember I was speaking about the other week about the shipping forecast?
Mm-hmm.
So, traditionally that went out on the BBC, and there's a text version of it here. So I think I'll do the shipping forecast. Okay, do you mind? There's no one listening, so I might as well just do it.
It's okay, yeah.
It's just a fantasy of mine.
I don't know, the station head might pass out.
Yeah.
But
she's probably thinking, what the hell is going on here tonight?
This is nuts, yeah.
Poor girl. Monday the 26th of February 2024. The shipping forecast is issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency. There are warnings of gales in Viking, North Utshire, the Forties, Cromarty, Biscay, Trafalgar, Rockall, Malin, Hebrides, Bailey, Fair Isles, the Faroes, and southeast Iceland. The general synopsis at 1800 hours is low Denmark Strait, 969, expected in the southeast of the north of Iceland, 661, by 1800 hours Tuesday. It's getting worse.
Okay, at least half of those names you had to have made up. Come on, man.
The area forecast for the next 24 hours, Viking and North Utshire. South or southwest, 4 to 7. Increasing gales 8 or severe gales 9 for the time. Moderate, becoming rough or very rough. Rain, showers, etc. later. Good and occasionally poor. Right, that's enough, I think. So that's the weather. Actually, the actual weather for tomorrow is...
What the hell is the
I'm
actual
supposed to
weather?
do that when I'm doing that. No. I think it's kind of temperate, 40 degrees, 44 degrees, and nice. A bit cloudy.
High in 56 tomorrow, low in 39. It's just getting, and there's a 40% chance of some sort of precipitation. A gentleman named Stuart, who lives around the corner from me, and he was very interested in what we were doing, and he mentioned that his wife actually has a sustainably focused fashion brand called La Reunion, and it's named after a Moroccan island, I think it is, or Madagascar island. Sorry, not Moroccan. Sorry, Madagascar.
It's off Madagascar, isn't it?
It's off Madagascar, yeah. And his wife, Sarah, I guess, is a Nigerian-American living in Brooklyn, and she's doing some wonderful work. They've had articles done on them in Vogue, and the work is beautiful. So if you get a chance, go to La Reunion, spelled Reunion, studio.com. We'd love to do an interview with Sarah, or even with you, Stuart, because it seems like you have a real solid background in sustainable-oriented work yourself. So thank you very much for your time today, this week. And before we sign off today, do we have...
Well, we've got about 10 minutes left. We've got 11 minutes left, yeah.
11 minutes left to just kill the air.
Well, we're going to do a couple of shout-outs, right?
Yeah.
We're going to shout out the bloke from Waterford that served us the pints. Is going to serve pints later on.
That's right, yeah, man.
What was his name?
I don't remember.
You've forgotten
something. Oh, gosh, right? He told it to me right then. I don't know. Do you remember?
No.
Why are you giving me a hard time, you jackass?
I've got to say, it was a decent pint of Guinness.
It was funny, though. We walked in last week, and he goes, you guys come in here at the same time every Monday. Why? That's the first thing comes out of his mouth. And then what is it? You guys turned out you two are like second cousins or something? You guys sort of like grew up in...
It just turned out that, he's from the same county my mother's from. And then also, he'd been looking for a property some while ago, and we'd spoken about two or 3 years ago. So he actually remembered my name, which is bad because I can't remember his now.
Do you think at least one of the 3 listeners here know that one of your other jobs is, or your day job?
Don't say that. No, and no one cares. You know? What else? It was an interesting party, wasn't it, the weekend?
Oh yeah, we had a good party. Yeah, that was actually fun. We had a bartender there, which was really fun. Old friend.
It's about the only time I've ever been invited to a party in Brooklyn Heights.
Yeah, you said you'd never been in that space before.
Never.
So, yeah.
No, it was interesting because it was obviously not a recent build.
No, but still in great condition.
Yeah, because it was like well laid out and had a bit of space.
Yeah, it was definitely a post-war, pre-war. It kind of had lots of big closet space. Shout out to the bartender Bear, who graciously took his night off from Fresh Kills to come and work with us the whole evening. That was wonderful. And shout out to the people over at Henry Street Ale House, including Clarence, who comes in once a week to do his Clarence sing-along, his infamous. And Henry Street Ale House, like I like to call Cheers the Next Generation, because of all the crazy people over there.
It was good. Yeah. And again, they had a decent pint of Guinness up there.
Yeah, it's great. Well, we said
Are you going to read out the email?
Yeah,
right?
We'd like all 4 or 5 listeners to...
drum roll, please.
Drum roll, yeah, to give us a line, ask us questions, send us ideas, anything. Find an ASCII print, use a printer, take a picture of the printout, and send us your thoughts and emotions and dreams to sustain sword@gmail.com, or... if you're like me, sustainsword@gmail.com.
So that's SUSTAINSWORD@gmail.com.
Yeah, but, your accent gets in the way.
I'm a bit slow, aren't I?
Yes.
That's good, then. So what have you learnt this week?
I have learned to try to slow down. And no good deed goes unpunished.
Okay. And I've learnt that we can't solve any more of the world's problems until we figure out the shit with printers.
I mean, I would just harken back. I think the great solution is the scene that's very musical. If you go to the movie Office Space, where they drag the printer, or is that actually a fax machine? They drag it out into the middle of the highway divide and beat it with baseball bats to a gangster rap song. It's a very funny scene to watch.
That's one of the classic movies of all time.
It is a great movie. Yeah.
And the guy in it, what's his name? Didn't he just pass away recently? The guy that ends up in the basement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you see Meredith Stapler?
That's very good.
Still gets it.
Did he? I think he passed. Was it he?
That guy's a great actor. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
You know who did pass away this week? And God, I've forgotten his name again. Is the guy off The Office, the original, the British Office, Keith.
Oh, yeah.
Keith, the big guy, with the fascination for Scotch eggs. Did you see that?
I didn't watch The Office.
The famous scene where he eats a Scotch egg.
I've heard of it, but I have not watched it.
Anyway.
But
it's kind of morbid to be talking about people that have passed away.
Well, I mean, there's always, fair remembering. Actually, Frida goes to my daughter goes to a culinary school, and they actually had a science department with aquaponics and hydroponics up on the roof that was providing to local restaurants, and the head of the department suddenly passed away over the weekend, which was really sad. We did not expect that, and I saw that this afternoon. And
for some reason now I feel like
another
Throw my
pint.
printer out of the... Right, I think it's a wrap, isn't it?
Yeah, there we are. Thank you. Good night.
It's a wrap. 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 It's a wrap.